ourselves in.
And welcome to the
let's
Barrel
count
Buddies.
ourselves in.
Okay, count it in, even though we're live now.
All right, 3,
Yeah.
2.
And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze, news, and reviews live from the Las Vegas studios.
We're back. We're back in the saddle. We are continuing. We are continuing our journey down Barton Lane. Barton Distilling, everyone.
Barton to Bardstown.
We are continuing down the rabbit hole, and today's Barton offering.
What do we got? You know how many bad bourbon trail references we just made? From Barton to Bardstown, down the rabbit hole.
Down ye old rabbit hole.
How many other bad bourbon puns are we going to make? How many hard pops am I going to have to try and soften and work through? That's right, I said soften.
There you go. Hey, so Barton, sweet wheat. Sweet wheat.
The sweet wheat.
I've heard good things. I've heard mixed things.
I'm very excited about the sweet wheat.
Yeah, you're excited about this one?
I am very excited about this.
Mr. Chris Conrad. Howdy,
the sweet
cowboys.
wheat is going to be a sweet wheat. Hello, Mr. Conrad.
Cheers. I hope you're
Cheers
having
to
a beverage
you.
with us tonight.
If I know anything about Mr. Conrad, I'd say he's probably got an Evan Williams with some soda and a little rice.
Ooh. Soda and rice?
I said ice. I said ice.
I don't know about that.
Maybe I slurred into my ice a little bit.
Oh, Uncle P, it's been a while, man, and welcome back.
Look at this great combination of brothers here.
Uncle P.
Combination of brothers. There are 4 brothers here in this show.
Evan and soda. There you go, Evan and soda.
Yeah, I called that. Hey, Uncle P, what are you drinking tonight?
Anyway,
we'll wait.
We'll wait in a second. That's no big deal. So 1792 sweet wheat. We get back to him. He's not going anywhere.
I'm so excited. I've seen this sitting on the shelf for so many years, sitting unopened.
Years. I believe this is a 2018, FYI. Okay.
You're going to go 2018. This came out, they started making it and producing it in 2015.
So for those that don't know, so this is distilled by Barton, 1792. They are owned by the Sazerac Company, the one and only. This is a no age statement. However, the press release for when it originally came out stated that it was 8 years old.
8. Count those fingers.
So undisclosed mash bill, but we're assuming probably close to a Buffalo Trace. What do you think? One of the Buffalo Trace mash bills, probably the Weller.
So I'm going to say this is probably some combination of mash bill 2 with some experimental action in it. High wheat. Rye is typically the secondary, right? We all know corn.
Yes.
Corn. This is bourbon. So it's got to be at least 51% corn, which is already very sweet. But then you can choose, and many people do, to add wheat as your secondary grain. Most people choose rye. This is a high wheat, the sweet wheat. And what you get out of it is this very sweet, and we call it a heater. A weeder heater, right? Because it also...
Who calls it that?
So in the community...
Whose community?
You've called it a weeder heater. I've heard you say it. I said it. It's not knocked upon because it does tend to up the heat, up the alcohol content just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because those sugars, remember, you put those sugars in there.
The esters.
And then you're going to put the naturally occurring yeasties that are going to create those alcohol chains.
Alcohol is the duty from the yeast.
That
seriously, look this up. We're just explaining it like children.
We're explaining it like 5-year-olds. But basically,
we're drinking.
What you're getting is
defecation of yeast. In a nutshell, when you drink alcohol.
Some wild yeast defecation
at the atomic level
through this process, right? Through this aging fermentation process. And distillation, excuse me, distillation
and brewing,
where yeast is not really truly present because truly you're heating it and you're taking the esters off of it. But it typically with all that sugar, you're getting a better ester, you're getting a better alcohol. You're getting a higher alcohol, which you may have to proof down. We'll talk a little bit about maybe how that works in this particular offering. But yes, I'm very excited. You're still going to see a little rye on this. There is some spice that comes through this. Talk about that a little more. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't know much about this, and from what I've read, like I said, and from what I've read, it's kind of, the reviews are kind of all over the place. I don't really know,
There she blows.
What that makes me think is, if the reviewers are kind of all over the place, that this is going to be potentially polarizing in one direction or another, or there's some element to it that really stands out that kind of takes away from a lot of the beverage. So, which I don't know what that is. That's just my speculation.
Here's the thing.
It's being speculative today.
We don't, and here's the other thing. We don't really know what the mash bill is. And I'm a little concerned you might not like this, because some of the things I like, you love sweeter, right?
Yeah.
We all know Mr. Pastry Stout over here. You like some of those more sweet offerings. And I think this does play into a sweet tooth.
Well, and don't forget also the standard 1792 mash bill is high rye. And I'm not a big high rye guy.
But you do like that.
I do.
I like it too. I think it was good. But I'm a little concerned that in this Sazerac experimentation that has yielded what we know now today as Barton 1792, and especially what we're going to do tonight, the sweet wheat, I am concerned that they probably turned up the corn, right?
Yep.
You're not going to leave that.
Turned down to what?
51%. And you're not going to just take that wheat at a typical 25 or 26%.
Do you know what I want to do?
I think they're going to take the corn high. I think they're going to take the wheat high.
Yeah.
And I bet you the rye is going to be coming in somewhere between 7 and 11%.
I want to look at comparing this to like Makers or Weller 12 after we're done.
Interesting, because Makers prides itself on its wheat composition, a particular wheat, a particular strain of wheat. They don't tell you what kind of wheat they're using, but Makers obviously red winter wheat.
Whoa, what a nose.
The nose is supposed to be good.
Nose.
The nose and everything about this is supposed to be very good.
This is like a creme brulee. The nose is making me salivate. Wow. Do you get that sweetness?
I get such sweetness that there's a berry. There's like
berries. It's like a berry compote, like a jammy.
I'm thinking like when you cut strawberries, blueberries, blackberries up to put on angel food cake.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that.
You get this very fruit forward sweetness.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that the earth, that nature has put together some sugar. This is not fake sugar. This is the earth put forth some sugar. This is interesting.
We didn't mention, so this is coming in at 45.6% or
kind
91, 91.2 proof.
Perfect angle there.
So it is above my acceptable threshold of those 80 proofers. And actually, I don't think we've ever had anything less than 80 proof.
We have.
That's a whiskey or a bourbon?
We have.
I
regret we have.
A whiskey?
We've gone to some American whiskeys where they're pretty low.
Like 30%.
38% where they come in. What is our camera doing?
I'm getting some nuttiness. It's been bugging out like this lately. We're overdue for a camera.
Thanks to Mr. Conrad, we're gonna experiment with the GoPro.
I think the GoPro will help. I'll try to sync that up with the Elgato that we have. But I think that
might be my glasses.
No, I think so. I think that the GoPro will be better more for our live stuff, like out in the field.
100%.
Where in the house we're gonna need to get a camera.
All right, just might be time. Yeah,
it's way.
This is.
We got this camera like a couple of years when I got into the fun house, which we've been here already for 3. So that means this camera has got to be at least 6 years old.
Okay, I mean it's done its job.
It has. No, don't get me wrong. This thing is a warrior, and it's been a workhorse, but
it just might be time.
We'll have to get that GoFundMe up and get a camera for the B-Buds.
Wow. Yeah. So interesting nose. Do you find the complexity in this nose at all?
I kind of don't. I just get a ton of sweetness, but I like that. So I'm not getting a lot of like, oh, it's complex, and I'm getting this, and that. Like creme brulee, a little faint nuttiness.
There is some nice toasty sugars. And that's probably barrel,
very
right?
Sweet. Oh, it's got to be salivatingly sweet. All right, cheers. Let's get into this. I'm ready.
And a cheers to you, all you faithful barrel buddies.
Cheers, friends. We all drinking out there.
Look at the legs. Oh my God. The legs are like a paper-bound book. They're really close together. Really close together, these legs. Holy cow.
That is interesting.
Oh. Okay, so I'd done a little reading that this is a light-bodied whiskey.
It's super light.
And so we talk about mouthfeel, and really what mouthfeel means is it light-bodied, medium-bodied, heavy-bodied?
Yeah.
And think about that like viscosity. Is it thick like when you drink Robitussin? Is it thin like when you drink water? Or is it somewhere in between?
This is kind of watery.
A little watery.
It's strange. It's throwing me off.
But it's not bad. Sometimes watery is bad. Sometimes a light mouthfeel is terrible.
Especially if it's a high ABV and it's like ethanol-y thin.
Do you get some nuttiness on this?
That's what I was going to tell you.
Yes,
I'm getting like some nuts in that. Like a lot of nuttiness.
A lot of roasted candy.
It's very reminiscent of some Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like I even get like some Blue Note vibes from it. Like
I wouldn't go so far to say peanutty.
I'm getting like a Blue Note-esque taste to it.
There is some peanut there.
It's there.
It's very
all on that tail end on like kind of the exhale. It's very sweet forward. It's very like jammy, creme brulee, berries, like creamy.
I like this,
but from like a smell, like a whipped cream. Let me clarify it.
That's a really good way to put it because it is delicate. And I wouldn't typically put. That's not right. Let me repick that. I don't think it's fair that you have to always put chantilly cream or whipped cream with a very light-bodied or delicate mouthfeel bourbon.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do go to that because those flavors they're light and it feels airy and it's obviously things that have been whipped into that product. But this does feel very whipped creamy, like almost Cool Whip.
And it's a sweet boy. It's almost like drinking whiskey with Cool Whip in it. It's strange.
I do feel between the nose and between the flavor profile that this is very similar to a strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
There's that pound cake sweetness where the sugars are like coming out of the exterior of the cake. You've got that berry action. You've got some naturally occurring sugars. You got that light, fluffy feeling of whipped cream. This is
pair this with a dessert.
When you say sweet wheat, what we really mean is very sweet,
dessert.
But no heat. No heat.
Yeah, there's no heat.
45%. This is super approachable. There's no.
It doesn't even drink
embrace.
Like booze. No,
there's no Kentucky huck.
Embrace.
No Midwestern embrace. Get in here, boy.
We said we're leaving, but we're still saying bye. I haven't left yet. Go around the room, hug everybody.
Yeah.
Sit back down.
Well, we're gonna hang out and have one more pop. Yeah. Wow, it's kind of a conundrum.
I
know what Chris's comment's going to be.
One of
his first question's going to be, "What about a rock?" And I would say you don't need it.
It's too delicate and light for a rock. In my
drinks
opinion.
like there's a rock in it.
It does. I love how you put that. It absolutely does. It drinks like it's already, and not in a bad way. It's already watered down. No, it's already in rocks.
Not like it's watered down, but it's like it's already got rocks in it.
Yeah,
because rocks do kind of like mute and bring it to something that's a little bit more enjoyable sometimes.
So if you insisted on a rock in lieu of, just get this a little chilled. Chilled a little bit.
I'd put this in the freezer. I'd freeze this. I'd keep it very cold.
I think you'd mute. I think you'd just end up being like a marshmallow. Not a bad thing. But I think it'll end up being very one-sided, like marshmallow.
Here's what I'd say. I'd
That's
say
not a bad thing.
Instead of putting a rock in it, I would just tell you, get out your ice cream scoop. Get a quick scoop of vanilla. Plop it in your glass.
Milkshake. I love that idea.
Swirl it around with a little vanilla and sip. And I mean, it's
boozy milkshake.
They're going to complement each other so well.
Yeah, boozy milkshake's a great idea.
Yeah, I would not make a cocktail with this. I don't think that this would stand up to any mixer.
I totally agree. I think again it goes back to that. It's light and delicate, but it's sweet, light and delicate.
All of the things we like about Blanton's, and I'm thinking about Uncle P. I'm thinking about Mr. Conrad. I'm thinking about you and me. I don't know who else has joined the show tonight. And so for those of you I haven't seen, welcome. I would just tell you, we talk a lot about Blanton's sweetness and that being kind of one of the things we really like. So if you think about the things you really like about Blanton's, and again, this is a cousin.
Yeah.
This comes from producers of the same juice. They've taken literally everything
like a
that is
brother, sister, cousin.
Sweet.
Sorry.
We're talking about Kentucky. We need to be careful.
Oh, we are talking about Kentucky.
We need to be careful. We're not Alabama, but we just need to be careful.
Sub 1K.
So
welcome.
Kissing cousins, you know.
And Patrick Curry.
Patrick
there.
Bobby. Good to see you.
Oh, it pops up a little heart there. That's cool. I forgot we're back on the YouTube, so it shows us all that.
You've taken all of the things that you really like about the sweetness of Blanton's and you've really condensed it into this one bottle. I think sacrificing some of the more tobacco, spicy oak, and maybe leathery tones that come through in good bourbon. So I think that there is a loss of complexity, but I don't think that loss is going to make you dislike the sweetness and the niceties and the fluffiness that this provides in a glass. That's my thought.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like, while you've been talking about this, I'm trying to think, like, could it go with anything? Like, could it be mixed? And I can't really think of anything. Yeah, besides like a boozy shake. I don't see it in a cocktail. Like, it won't hold up. Like, it won't hold up in an old fashioned. It won't in a like a whiskey sour even. I would not put it in either of that. I think it would be too overwhelmed by the fruit juices and lost.
It'd be so lost.
And that's what we're talking about, that light. It's a delicate, but it has, like, I don't want to say richness and sweetness, because then you make it think like it's like syrupy, but it's not. It's
it's not like a heavy decadent.
Yeah, it's
not decadent.
Weird. It's not decadent at all.
But it is deliberate.
But it's sweet.
It is deliberate.
Yeah, it's like a wheat bread sweetness. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Like, it's,
I don't know about wheat. I don't know that I would say it's a wheat bread sweetness. I know where you're going.
Like, where you
right?
like, you know, because there's like a sweet bread and not like brain.
Biscuity.
Biscuity.
It's there is a little
yeah, biscuity.
I get what you're saying. Biscuity's maybe not right. Again, it's
like a cakey, like a
it's not cornbread.
Like a donutty, maybe
donut.
like a donut.
I could get behind
donut sweetness.
Yeah, I could get behind a yeast ring.
Like a classic donut,
a classic glaze,
not a Krispy Kreme. I'm talking
that's overly sweet. That's cloying.
Like a original donut.
This is like
cake donut.
What you want to wake up to in the morning with a fresh cup of coffee.
Oh, this definitely goes in coffee.
I could put it in coffee,
and I wouldn't need to add anything else.
Put it in
there
coffee.
You go. You just hit the nail on the head. This goes in coffee.
This is a cowboy coffee, right?
Hell yeah!
A little coffee, a little cream.
Yes. I love that. I completely agree. It needs to go into coffee.
A nice coffee, because that would bring some of the complexity. I think that this is missing.
Yeah.
Right, a good coffee, like a nice pour over. Not typical.
I'm not using fancy coffee for cowboy coffee, but
I would. I think they'd play well together.
I'm not throwing a shot of this in some George Howell that I bring back from Boston.
Listen, man, you do you. Okay, you do you.
I mean, maybe some Folgers crystals.
Stop. You've been hanging out with the Prince way too long.
Some Taster's Choice.
You're hanging out with the Prince too much.
Hey, no hate on Taster's Choice. I like that stuff.
He doesn't usually take his coffee at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I wonder what changed. Everybody's just talking with their hands. That's all you see. The hands. Are you unlocking a memory right now?
Sanka. Uncle P says Sanka.
Gotta wanna. Sanka. Oh no, that's Fanta.
Fanta and Sanka cocktail. Anyway.
Yeah, grape and Sanka.
We rate things here on a
awful.
We here at the Barrel Buddies.
Grape, Fanta,
Let's
and
get to
Sanka
our rating.
coffee.
Let's get to our rating.
What do you think?
Disgusting.
Leave a comment below.
There you go. We rate our bottles and offerings basically using 3 categories: nose, taste, and value. We typically give a 0 to 3 score on each one of those categories. Gives you a 9 with a potential 1 point for a blown away bonus for an overall score of up to 10. We do give halves. quarters on occasion, 0.1s on occasion.
Could happen.
It could happen.
Could happen.
And with that being said, I'm going to defer to you on the nose, if you don't mind starting. But I think it's pretty one-sided. I think we both kind of described it as a very sweet kind of syrupy nose, right?
Syrupy. I wouldn't give it syrupy. I wouldn't put that. Don't put
it's
that
not
word in my
strong.
mouth.
It's still a delicate nose. It's just a sweet delicatness.
Sweet, right? It's sweet in the way that you put your nose into a candy store. It's sweet in the way that an Easter basket smells on Easter Sunday.
That's very appropriate.
Thank you. You got the jelly beans, you got the chocolate, you got the obvious sugar.
By the way, I'm going to do a little ham. You might have to just come over on Sunday.
You want me to come over?
Yeah, I
got breakfast plans, but I don't got dinner plans.
Yeah, but for dinner, come on over. We're just doing ham and my classic scalloped potatoes. And that's it. Just ham and scalloped potatoes, maybe a little can of corn.
Come on, I'll add to this.
No, you don't have to.
I know you don't have to, but I will.
Can of corn, and then get some bake a roll of bread or something.
Okay.
Bread rolls.
I'm in. Yeah.
Easy Sunday.
Yeah, I think I'll come over. We'll do a little Barrel Buddies.
I think that's a great Sunday.
Buddies Easter.
The only thing that's missing, I'm trying to see. Yeah,
and that is, the biscuit.
The biscuit. The biscuit's risen.
The biscuit is risen.
I was trying to see if
I'm telling you, it's my glasses, the reflection, screwing things up.
If some Ohio folk were here, I would ask for some kielbasa to be overnighted.
Hey, Uncle P. Hey, Uncle P.
That's okay.
I know it's not
That's
Ohio,
just kind of an Easter staple in Ohio.
But it's Pennsylvania. So. Can you call me and we could arrange for
pierogies and some kielbasa?
We could arrange for maybe some Amish kielbasa.
Okay, what is that? What is that made out of? The same thing? Do they eat pork?
It all comes from pig, baby.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
I don't know.
All right, so the nose.
They do sausage, but I don't know if they do kielbasa. That's a Polak thing.
The nose is the nose is one-sided. It's not bad.
Right.
It's really pleasant. It's very inviting.
It is.
It's inviting like a daisy in a meadow on a sweet summer day.
It's like you're writing your opinion article for the week.
Just call me, whatever.
The wonderful dustings of iced sugar.
Wonderful dustings
through the
pollen, just inviting your nose to take its bouquet. No, enough. 1.5. I would give this a 1.5.
I see, and I respect this because I was thinking about it too. And whereas I like the sweetness, I agree exactly with where you're going.
I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't. Is this the kind of thing I want my nose in all night?
No,
it's really nice. It's nice. It's unoffensive, but I don't think that's where this shines.
Think about this though. Would you also stick your nose in a maple syrup bottle all day long?
Yeah,
no,
I wouldn't. No,
it's good.
I would not. Me. Maybe
I know this is the internet.
I don't.
There's a lot of people, different strokes out there
for different.
But
folks.
That's not me.
So 1.5. I'm
not sitting by the pool sniffing maple.
You want me to just take it all the way through?
Take it all the way through.
All right. So on the palate, we've already talked about the palate. You've heard it.
Yeah.
If you've been watching the show, and I hope you have, you've heard what I've had to say about this. I'm not going to rehash this.
Yeah.
I am really affected by the palate. I would tell you the finish is shorter than what I prefer. But one of the things that we haven't talked about is how dry the finish is. The finish is
dryness.
Very dry.
Biff tannins.
It does. Yeah, it really kind of puckers the back of the mouth.
It's definitely puckering. Biff tannins.
Really puckers the back of the mouth. But I like that because that's what kind of draws you back to the next sip. So even though it's a really short finish, it's been crafted in such a way, I think, that it causes you to go, ooh, I'm thirsty again. Well, I have this drink right here. I think I'm going to take another sip.
But here's one thing I appreciate. Whereas it has that, and I don't mean to jump in here on your review, that dryness not only brings you back, but it has it's usually when that happens to me, it's like an astringent kind of sandpapery dryness.
Agreed.
We're almost like the wine aftertaste, where it's a really dry, where you're like, ooh, I'm drinking, but I'm not quenching my thirst.
And that's not this.
No.
I don't think that's this.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
all right.
that's
All
this.
right. I kind of get that a little bit.
I get kind of like a cinnamon butter. When you get good cinnamon butter and there's a lot more cinnamon than there is butter. The butter's there, but the cinnamon is what's kind of causing that.
It's dryness. Like being a kid, going to the cabinet, and you're like, ooh, I have cinnamon sticks, and you take a bite out of it, and you're like, ooh, all regret, because you think it's like a candy.
Do you have trauma?
No. I don't have
sure?
done that. I haven't done that either. I'm just telling you,
specific.
oh, well, that's like the Abuelo's chocolate. I've had that before.
We know what you did.
Went into the pantry.
We know what you
And then there was the little square. And you're like, I mean, come on. When you're a kid and you look at it, it's like that old lady
chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like hot cocoa. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be great.
So all of this said,
no,
my score
no
on
way.
This,
what's your score?
2.5 on the palate.
Okay.
There's a lot to offer here, and I think there's a lot to explore. And the more I sip it, the more I kind of find that I really enjoy it. Value. We haven't talked about value. You said you think
I think it was 50 to 70 is what I paid for this.
Which sounds appropriate in 2018.
Yes. 50.
Today, prices for this bottle range.
Yeah, what do you got?
Between 70
sounds right.
And 180.
Yikes. Don't pay more than $100.
Here's what I think.
This.
I think that
don't pay more
70
than 80. Yeah.
is probably the MSRP. And I think that,
or even 60.
I think the reality of what you're paying for a sweet wheat.
Yeah.
I bet you're probably paying $149.99 at any of the stores.
Ooh.
Right. And I'm talking
big.
That's like Total Wine, Bevmo, your good friend at the liquor store. I think that's probably what you're paying. So would I pay $159? Do I find this to be a value? No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's where the value is going to tank on this. It's good.
What's your overall?
I'm going to give it a 1. So that's a 1.5, a 2.5. Comes into a 4 and a 1 is a 5 out of 10. Am I blown away? Not super blown away, but I am going to bump it because I have feelings. So with the sweet wheat.
What are you giving it? What's the all in here?
It's like a peep. I'm going to say this. I think that the sweet wheat is kind of like a peep. You're either going to love it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to hate it. And if you fall somewhere in the middle, you're going to go, eh. So while it's nice, it's a marshmallow.
Yeah.
It's shaped like a bunny.
But it's still
or a chick
at its core.
But it's a peep. And so I'm giving this a 57 out of 100 or a 5.7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's not a drain pour. It's not something I would, refuse. I think it's nice. And I'm going to continue to drink my little dram here. But it's not something I'd go out of my way to pick up. 5.7.
I'm pretty close. Out of 100. I'm pretty close to that. So on the nose, I'm giving it a 1. Again, whereas it's sweet. The funny thing is when you poured it, I could not tell you poured it. I was like going to give you a hard time.
That aroma did not come out of the glass.
No, like when we started the show, I thought you still hadn't poured the bottle. And I was going to be like, you going to pour this or what? And then I look right before I said that, it was already full of the whiskey, which to me is not a good thing. But it earned itself that point. Mm-hmm. I almost want to give it a 1.5. I think I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Okay. Yeah,
because I love the nose. I think it has, like I said, we talked about all these elements like that sweet, sweetness, the sweet corn, the berry icing, like all that stuff that we threw out there. I totally think is great and awesome. And it's like, I'm digging that. For the taste, I mean, just bringing it back full circle. I'm not rehashing it all. Like it has good things. It has bad things. I think that it has a really pleasant sweetness, but even for an 8-year, it just has this kind of thinness, which is a little off-putting, but it's enjoyable. I almost want to say I don't want to sit and drink it all day long. Like maybe I would like to try it chilled. But I think after all that's said and done, I'm gonna give it a 2. I think it's gonna get a 2 because I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent, solid. I mean, I wasn't like had 1 and I don't want more. Like I'll probably go in and have some more, which is a good indicator that I usually give things a 2.
I won't,
at minimum.
But okay.
Value. For value, this is a tough one. I mean, just thinking about anywhere from that like 50 to 80 price point that I paid for it.
That's a value. Old school price, sure.
Value. I would give it a higher score. But if I was looking at today, like if I was out there right now, 2023, 24, and paying anywhere from 90, I wouldn't pay anything more than $80. This is not worth anything more than $80. That's even a stretch.
Okay.
All right. So with that, it's going to get a 1.5. I'm going to give it a 1.5 because it's an 8-year. So I'm going to give it that extra half. So that puts me at 5.
1.5 and a 2 is a 5.
It gives me a 5. And I like the sweetness. I'm gonna give it a half because I don't want to. I'm gonna give it a half blown away.
Kind of feel the same way. We have feelings,
but I think I'm gonna probably give this an overall like a 53.
Okay,
is what I'm gonna give it. Just now that I've kind of put all that together and thought about it some more, because it's not terrible and I enjoy. It's pleasant. It's sweet. It's good.
Yeah,
but it's not memorable.
No.
I don't prefer this out of the Barton line. I think there's a lot more complexity in some of the other offerings we've had, which after now we've had a couple. So I know
there's some things I want to say, but because it's YouTube,
yeah,
I'm going to restrict myself. And because I know you, and there's some people out here I know, and
okay,
I'm going to restrict myself.
All right.
But here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
In a real application, this is the kind of bottle you're going to take to a brown water share.
Yes.
And then everyone is going to be very excited.
Yes, and everyone's going to enjoy it because it's a sweet, basic B bourbon.
No, they're going to see it and they're going to go, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And everyone's going to have a pour.
Oh yeah, everybody. There's nothing offensive about this.
No one is going to remember this pour.
No one will remember.
Nobody is going to tell a story about when they go.
It's not memorable.
When somebody goes, "Hey, how was that bottle share?" No one's going to go, "Oh my god,
Sweet Wheat was flipping memorable, mind-blowing."
The Barton Sweet Wheat, that's 1792. Let me tell you something. No one's telling you that story.
Yeah, Uncle P, you don't love it, but you like it like a friend.
Exactly. This bottle got friend zoned.
This is a great friend zone bottle. I love that.
Was quiet and did not move.
Zone. We're gonna friend zone this bottle. That's a thing. That needs to be a thing.
Friend zone the bottle. You need to. We need to get
zoned. We need a shelf
just
for friend zone. The friend zone bottles.
Good, the friend zone. And then we edit it in friend zone
because it's just not enough. It's just not. There's just something missing, and it's sweet, and I get it, and it's part of the brand, and it's there. It's established.
It's a cool. I think it's a cool experiment. I'm glad they did it. I do think it's something.
I'm not like shitting on the pick, right? Like,
no.
Pull your head on your ass, Barton. No, like,
and it's definitely something
I
worth
totally
taking to market.
Right?
It's definitely something worth taking to market.
Crowd
it's not
appeal.
Bad.
It can capture some market share with the sweetness and the simplicity.
I'm looking out here at some of the other options, and I'll tell you right now, the first thing I'm going to go back to is you were talking about. I might go back to that. I'm like, nope. Not when I've got a bottled and bond that I thought was just smoking hot.
Please.
Smoking delicious.
Thank you.
I'd much rather go back to that. Even the small batch, the single barrel, the full proof. I mean, I would go over all of those because they just have a little more complexities. They got a little bit more going on that makes me interested.
Oh, peppery oakiness in a good way.
And so
there you have it. That's our scores. And that kind of wraps things up, guys.
Very nice. So for those of you celebrating the Easter time, happy Easter.
Happy Easter to
for those of you celebrating Passover.
Oh, that too.
Happy Passover. I hope that you have a good year. For those of you that are just celebrating spring is the new year, which there are many, then happy new year to you.
Very cool. And that those are just treated as another Sunday. Cheers to you as well.
And if it's just a regular Sunday in your home, well, then pour yourself a heavy pour. Kick back. Hope you watch a little baseball. Football is not that far off. It's coming.
Uncle P, I don't know what you're saying, BJ. What is he saying here? He's having,
I don't know.
Because I'm just completely uneducated. What is he saying there?
I'm leaving.
I'm having. Do you know what that is? I don't know what that is for dinner.
Oh my God, he's having Hassenpfeffer.
What is that?
It's like a green peppercorn beef gravy. A Hassenpfeffer. A Hassenpfeffer. You never heard of having Hassenpfeffer?
What is it?
It's like gravy beef and green peppercorn and mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
It's not a stroganoff. It's Hassenpfeffer.
Rabbit is what he said. It's rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Well, you lost me at rabbit. I'm sorry. I was ready for beef. Well, to you, I say enjoy.
That is hilarious because it's on Easter, which, the ye old Easter bunny is going in our
You know what I don't like about rabbit?
Right down the gullet, down the old...
I don't like rabbit.
I don't know that I've had a lot of rabbit.
I want to like rabbit, but I don't like rabbit. It's a very soft meat. It's very soft. He's right. It is Hassenpfeffer is rabbit. I'm sorry. I should know this. but it is a very soft meat. I don't like it.
I'm gonna sound bougie. I've had it once at Joel Robuchon.
Wow, bougie much?
And I won't have it again. I wasn't that thrilled with it.
It's soft. It's like it's like a nice white breast chicken. They do say it tastes like chicken. It is, but it's very delicate.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't really into it. Yeah.
What else? What else is going on in the chat?
Nothing. They're like rabbits, these chocolate rabbits.
Hey, I want to know.
Laverne and Shirley, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated.
Sure.
I want to know, do you eat the ears off of your Easter rabbit first?
The chocolate ones?
Or something else? Yeah. What do you do?
I don't know that I really recall that. I just,
wow.
Knowing me, just eat it. Don't even think. You just mindlessly engorge yourself on that chocolate delicacy.
Okay, Augustus Gloop.
You just eat it.
I like the chocolate. It's
all chocolate. I think that wraps up the show.
It does. Oh, and this bottle and bond, I'll just tell you,
it's great. And that's a great thing because now we're able to compare it to other bottles in the line, and that is light years better.
Here's what I like about it:
the sweet wheat.
It's streets ahead, and I think it has all of the wonderful sweetness that is in the sweet wheat, but it's also got all of that good peppery consistencies of a full proof. And I think the B&B might be the best B&B we've ever had. And I would just say again, even Kirkland, who put out their B&B, the Kirkland B&B,
Garbo,
which was by Barton.
Garbo.
I said
Barton
with a B.
It's awful.
Yeah, but it was still one of the better B&Bs I'd ever had.
Whatever.
You don't have one to drink it, so you can't contest it. Thank you. Do we have any news tonight?
No, I want to wrap this up. I'm done. I'm done with these people.
Excuse you? These are our fans.
I don't have time for it. I'm calling it. I'm calling.
I love you. I got time for you all night, but I don't have any news
just
for
be
you.
Like Jimmy. Jimmy's done.
Jimmy's apparently done. He's ready for.
I want to go back to. I want to get a few more. I want to get a few more deep into this, and then I'm just done socializing.
Hold on. I have one other announcement.
Sure. Shoot your shot here.
I'm going to shoot my shot. If you are in the Las Vegas area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On the 4th of April.
Okay. Which is, hold on. When is the 4th
That's
of
a
April?
Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay. What do you got?
Then I would invite you to hit me up, DM us, send us a little something at the Barrel Buds.
Okay.
Because I would love for you to come and join me for a painting. I'm going to try and show it. No, it's not really good. You can kind of see it. It's this glow-in-the-dark UFO painting that I'm doing for my birthday because I'm turning 40 years old.
Oh!
That's right. I'm going to announce my age number because it doesn't matter.
Are you in town? I thought you were going to be across the pond.
I'm across the pond as of April 17th.
Oh.
But for the big 4-0, I'm going to be here.
And what are we doing?
Well, I'm going to paint a picture on Thursday, April 4th. And the rest of the weekend, that debauchery is yet to be decided.
Well, we need to get on that.
So if you're in the area, let me know. I'll send you the link to come paint the picture. We're just going to have some cocktails. We might have a little breath of fresh air. We might paint a picture.
It's very good. Where is this at? Can you let people know?
It'll be at Town Square.
Oh, that's very centralized.
Very
for a lot
central
of people.
For anybody.
That's great. Yeah, no. That's
keeping it very central. That way, if you got an Uber home,
do you have a cost out there to let people know?
$44.
And what does that get you?
It gets you all your painting supplies and the painting you get to take home.
Okay.
As well as hangout time with us.
And then, but do you get drinks with that or anything, or no?
No, drinks are included, but. You don't know what I might bring.
Oh,
I might bring something.
There you go. You got to threaten them with a good time.
I'll threaten you with a good time.
Okay.
So if you're in the area and you want to hang out, would love to have you. You know,
big deal.
Would love to have a cocktail, and there's something about painting. It's very mind numbing. It's very
therapeutic.
Calming. Next thing you know, 4 hours went by and you went, "Oh my God, what?" Had a couple of cocktails, and then you get to take home this great thing that you painted. Most importantly, this painting is glow in the dark. It's a black light painting, and it glows in the dark.
Well, Haunted Hillbilly me out of here. So for the Barrel Buddies, I'm Jimmy.
And I'm BJ. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Hot take.